How are you? Let's see what happens. I'm not nervous at all. I feel like whatever happens, happens. So let's see. Scoochie on down. Well, that was not good news. I have just had this feeling this whole cycle that this cycle just isn't going to be a good cycle. The cycle is going to be a wash. And I've thought it's going to be because of LUFS, but this is definitely a different kind of not a good cycle. The cycle has just been funky. Like, I'm on cycle day 15 right now. My uterine lining is like 8 point something millimeters. That's like decent for where I am. My doctor likes to see around 9 millimeters for at the time of ovulation, but my follicles, I have like a cluster of smaller follicles all on my right side, and we've been tracking one of them. And last week when I came in, both days, it was 13 millimeters. And then today, he took like multiple measurements. One of the measurements was 16 millimeters, and then one of the measurements was 12 millimeters. And he wrote down 12 millimeters. This is the ultrasound tech. And I made a comment because I was like, wasn't it 16 millimeters? Like, I'm confused why you're writing down 12. And he was like, well, we write down the average. And then he showed me, but that still wouldn't have been the average because that 12 was the smallest number he measured. I don't know. I obviously don't know his job, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know what this means. Like, is my follicle shrinking? Like, do I not even have a dominant follicle this cycle? And I don't even know what that means moving forward, because normally I have a dominant follicle and then LUFS just happens and then my period still shows up on time. Because with LUFS, period still comes, all the things. But with this, is my body just going to try and ovulate later? Am I not going to ovulate at all? Like, I don't even know. So I'm going to wait to hear back from my doctor. We'll see what she has to say. I have an appointment set up for tomorrow, but I don't even know if she's going to want me to come in. Can't get my hands on the medication. That's a whole nother thing. But I've just literally, like, I cannot keep talking to insurance. I cannot keep talking to this pharmacy. I cannot keep trying to figure this out, because everyone I talk to tells me different things. Like, I'm convinced none of them actually know what they're talking about. It's so insane. Like, every time I call, I just pray I have someone who's willing to help. And it's happened a few times, but on Friday I called and it was like 4:30 and my doctor's office closed at 5. So I called at 4:30 and they were like, we need one more thing from your doctor, which doesn't make any sense. Because I had called the day before and they had everything I called the morning of and they told me they had everything from my doctor. So I don't even know. I literally don't even know, but whatever. I can't. I literally give up. Like, it's causing me so much anxiety and stress that I can't do it anymore. I don't care anymore. It is what it is. So I guess we're just going to wait to see what my doctor has to say. I'm assuming this cycle is a wash, which really sucks. It's like, we're back to the drawing board of this cycle's so weird because it's not even LUFS. Like, we've never seen on like ultrasounds or follicle monitoring my body ever do this before. So I don't know. I'm so over walking out of here with bad news. Just so over it. I think one of the hardest parts through all of this is just watching how sad it makes Steven. Like, I know how badly he wants to be a dad, and it's just, I don't blame myself because it's not my fault. It's my body. It's not my fault. Because if it was in my control, of course I would ovulate every cycle. Of course I would get myself pregnant, but it's not in my control. It's my body, and it's so frustrating. There's definitely a weight that sits on my shoulders that I feel of, like, you know, it's my body's issues, not Steven's. And I'm so grateful his body doesn't have issues and it's not another thing in the mix. But it just sucks that my body can't cooperate and figure this out. It's so frustrating. He always is so good about, like, babe, this isn't your fault. I love you. This has nothing to do with you. You know, I don't blame you at all. He's so good about it all, but it's just as heavy, and it sucks, and it's so frustrating, and I wish I could change it. I just got a message from my doctor, and kind of like confusing news. She says, my uterine lining looks great for where I am in my cycle, but for whatever reason, my follicle still hasn't grown. It's still 1.3 millimeters. That's what she's saying. Like, I do not understand how it has not grown in 4 days. That's very bizarre to me. So she's like, I want you to have another follicle scan in 2 days. So not tomorrow, but the next day. I'm going to go in and get another follicle scan. And I guess we're going to see if growth happens. But she's like, but we do very clearly see the egg inside. So like, that's promising, but I'm not quite sure why the follicle isn't being stimulated to grow. So I guess I'll go back in 2 days and we'll go from there. Guess we'll see.